Howdy everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making this cupcake tower and the theme is going to be baseballs and bows. And this is going to be for my niece's gender reveal. Alright, so this particular cupcake tower that I'm making is in a theme called baseball and bows, and let me explain what that is. It is going to be a gender reveal party for my niece, and we're going to be having that party this Saturday, and I'm going to be making the cupcakes for her. So I decided to create this little tower to put some of the cupcakes on, and I went on Pinterest and I found different ideas, and I decided to use one of them and then incorporate the bow theme into the baseball theme. So we have been working on a lot of little projects for her gender reveal, a lot of which I really wanted to videotape so that I could have a tutorial video for you. The problem that I came across was that we were kind of scatterbrained about everything that we were doing, so I couldn't create a video on its own. And we're quite messy and very disorganized, so it was going to be a very difficult video to present to you because of all the mess. So there was one project that I decided, of course, on this particular tower, cupcake tower, that I was going to do all by myself, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and videotape that. But I actually got started on it before realizing this was something that I wanted to do. And yesterday I was sitting around because they were going to come over, and there was some time, like an hour, that I needed to kill because they decided to run a little errand, which is not important. But the reason is that I'm saying it is because I ended up starting the project without thinking, and then I realized, oh no, I want to do this for the camera, so I didn't videotape the beginning of it, but I'll just explain what I did. It's just a couple of things that I did, and so let me go ahead and tell you what we're going to be using for this project, and I'll tell you what I did. So the first thing that we're going to need is going to be a baseball bat. Now, if you're not following the baseball theme at all, you can use a wooden dowel for this, okay? So then you'll be cutting it to certain sizes, and then we're going to need pieces of these styrofoam blocks, and these are just this type of hard styrofoam that you see like ice chests and things like that made out of. Sometimes you can find this in your packaging, but if you can't find them, you don't find it that way, or you haven't saved that, and you don't have a craft store that sells this type of styrofoam, you can order it through Amazon. They do have this available, but really good hard styrofoam is good. You could also cut it out of plywood if you wanted to do everything made out of wood. Okay, so the pieces that I got here are these square pieces of styrofoam, and let me tell you what sizes I got. Okay, so I got a 12 by 12, and then I have 4 of them. I don't remember the exact sizes. Okay, more or less I was thinking 11 by 11. This is an 11 by 11. This is probably a 10. Yeah, 10 by 10, and this is like a 7 by 7. So it's a 12 by 12 or 12 inch, 11 inch, 10 inch, and 7 inches. It all depends on what you want. Okay, the next thing you're going to need is a bat, or like I said, a wooden dowel, and you're going to want to measure and mark where you want to cut it. Here I've got a bat that's already been cut up. This is a 27 inch baseball bat. It is a wooden bat. Now let's just tell you straight up, I went ahead and just ordered it from Amazon. This cost me $12. By the way, these sheets were maybe like $1 and some change and so forth, and the prices just went down. I think maybe I paid 60 cents for the smallest one. So they weren't very expensive. Okay, so this is what my bat looked like before I cut it. And all I did was take a straight ruler like this one, and I decided that the first one would be 7 inches. So I measured up 7 inches, marked it, and then I turned the bat a little bit, marked it again 7 inches, and so forth until I had little markings all the way around. And then I put a tape to be right on the edge of the markings, and then the rest of it I just crunched it up. And the reason that I'm saying that is because as the bat gets smaller, it tears into a thinner size. So that's why you just want to make sure your tape is right along the edge where you mark it, and then the rest of it doesn't matter if it's all crinkled up. So then after that mark, that's 7 inch, I measured up again, and I did 6 inches, 6 inches, and 6 inches, and repeating the same process for marking this one. So 6 inches, mark, 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 and then put the tape right along the edge and then mark it again. And then you're going to take it out and saw it. Now when you go out and saw it, you need to lift this. So you're going to have to put something like little shimmies of little pieces of scrap of wood or something under the bat to keep it at a level, you know, so that when you bring down your saw, because we used a, you know, oops, sorry, we used an electrical saw and we just brought it down. I don't know what it's called, just a table saw, I guess. But when we brought it down, we wanted to cut straight, and we didn't want this to be, you know, kind of leaning down, because then it would cut it at an angle. So we had to level it off and then cut it. So that's the only thing you want to do. So maybe if you're cutting it by hand or something, just make sure that this is why you want to mark it all the way around, not just on one side. Okay, now I do have some extra little small dowels, like 12-inch pieces that I have that I'm going to keep in mind that I might use, just in case when I put this all together and things seem to not want to be very stable. I can put little dowels here and just paint them the color of whatever I'm doing on here. Okay. Moving on to the next thing. This is not necessary, but I also got these little rounds of styrofoam. Oh, I think I did say it was a 27-inch baseball bat. This is a youth T-ball. It says Louisville Slugger on it. So it's just a 27-inch baseball bat. I did consider a 17-inch one, but it was going to be too short. Okay, this styrofoam are 2.5 inches in diameter, and I believe I paid like maybe like 40 cents for each one of these. And I got 4 because I wanted to have 4 legs for the bottom base, so it just gives it a little bit of a lift, just to give it that look. This is completely optional. And then I got some extra little styrofoam shapes. You can't see them against the white here, but one of them is a little bow because it's baseball and bow, so I wanted the little bow. I found a little baseball styrofoam shape as well. Now they don't have to be styrofoam. You can find some little wood shapes, or maybe you just cut them out of fun foam. I did get one that was round like a baseball, and it already had like a little paper on there with a baseball drawing. Oops. Forgive me, you guys. I'll pick it up later and I'll show you again. But it's a little baseball drawing on it. I'm not even going to cut this out, you guys. Okay, so I also have a K and a J because it's Crystal and Jordan, and I thought it would be cute to have their initials on there. I think I'm holding the J backwards, but I thought it'd be cute to put their initials on there. Okay, so this is going to be for cupcakes. I also ordered the toppings for the cupcakes, the little picks, and I found baseball and bows. That's an actual theme on Amazon, and there's lots of stuff on Pinterest, by the way. But I found these. Look at how cute these little picks are. This one has baseball, and then on this side I have little pink bows. Can you see that? Little pink bows. And then I also have, it also came with this, it says she with a little question mark. And I think on the baseball side, I think it says he. Yeah, it says he with a little question mark right there. Okay, so then these are 24 pieces. I think I paid like, I can't remember, like maybe $7, $7 for it. I ordered it way ahead of time when she first told me about it, so I don't remember the price. But you'll find different ones at different prices. Okay, so she ordered some items as well, my niece, and she had these little picks in there, which I'm going to use. It's still like a little baby, a onesie in gold with a little question mark cut out. Some have a pink bow, some have a blue bow. So I may use some of these for the cupcakes as well. We don't have that many because we've been using them for some other things. Okay, so I'm also going to be using some ribbon, and I just pulled out this one as an example. This is an acetate ribbon, and I've got it in the baby pink and the baby blue because those are going to be the colors of the baby shower, and it's going to be teen pink, teen blue, and it's going to be really cute. What's going to happen is that she's going to toss a baseball in the air, and he's going to hit it, and that baseball is going to explode, and whether it's pink or blue, that'll let us know if it's a boy or a girl. And right now only one person knows, and it's neither him or her that know that, but they got somebody else to have that little secret. I don't know what it is either. So anyway, I'm going to need some craft paints and some brushes, and of course a little bottle or a little cup of water, some napkins to clean up, and then I've got my hot glue gun and my glue sticks. I am going to go ahead and pull out my E6000 glue, so I want to make sure this all gets glued really well. I know that my hot glue gun will work just fine, but I just want to go ahead and have a little more of a safety with this. Now, this is only going to hold a few cupcakes. I'm not going to put all the cupcakes on there. I'm just going to put a few of them on there. It's just for decor, and then the rest of the cupcakes are going to get served out of a box or something else. So just keep in mind, this is going to be something that's going to just hold a little bit. Now, if you go to the stores and get yourself a little cupcake tower or something, some of them are made of cardboard, and they're actually pretty secure. But I wouldn't put too much weight on them. So I think mine's going to be good. It'll be able to hold some weight, but I'm still not going to put too much on it. So just keep that in mind. If you want to go ahead and build it out of wood and do a lot of wood screws and nails and all that, go for it. This is just an idea. I hope that you will enjoy it. Let's get to crafting. Alright, so I already explained what to do with the bat. So that will be the first step, is to take it and measure where you want your tiers, these items here, how far you want them apart, and then measure on your bat and cut. Now, between every piece of bat here is going to be a piece of styrofoam. So that'll give you another inch of height. So I'm adding, see, I'm adding 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 inches of height to this 27-inch bat already. So anyway, these pieces are done and they're ready. So I'm just going to put them aside. My bat's not going to get painted. We want that wood color. So on the bottom base, this is the largest piece. I want to add these little bits because these are my legs. So what I did is I went ahead and I've already painted them the color that I wanted, and I kind of wanted that little woodsy kind of color. I've already painted this particular styrofoam square, and I've painted it a grass green. Well, actually it is a Christmas green. Let me show you what paints I use, just in case you're wondering if you want to do what I did. Okay, so for the grass, I used Anita's acrylic craft paint, and it is in a Christmas green. So this is the paint that I used for the grass here. And for my little baseball diamond here, I used Apple Barrel's Khaki. This is also an acrylic paint. And that is also the color that I used on these. Now, to create my diamond, I actually pulled out an image from Google, and then I was also looking at Pinterest. And then I used, actually I used one of these to create my little base, my home base here. And then I made some measurements this way, how far out I wanted my diamond to go. And then from there to there, I just made a semicircle right here, kind of. Just connect these two by going into around here. And then of course I have the skinny one here, and then I decided how far in I wanted it to go. And then I just kind of rounded these pieces. Now, you don't have to make it this elaborate. You can make your baseball diamond any way you want, or paint it in any other theme that you want. Now, you don't have to put too much decor or detail on this, because in the center, first of all, right here, the baseball bat will be right there. So whatever you paint there, that's going to get covered. So I didn't really have to do that. I just did it because it wasn't that big of a deal. It wasn't any extra detail. Now, you're also going to be placing cupcakes on here. So you don't have to make this too elaborate. Don't put too much on it. This is just a little bit of a kind of a look, so that when it's all done, the cupcakes are gone, everybody can see that it was done in a baseball theme. Okay. All right, so I also have some pink, and I have some blues. I have 2 of them here that I've chosen. And then I have some white, because I'm going to have to dilute these colors, make them a little bit lighter. This is Apple Barrel White. I've got Apple Barrel Diva Pink here, and if you find a baby pink or a lighter pink, that would be better. Here I've got Anita's acrylic paint. This is a Twilight Blue. And then I've got this Americana in this turquoise blue. And the reason that I picked out this turquoise blue is because even though we wanted everything to be a very baby blue color, a lot of things now for boy is not even a baby blue color. It's more of a turquoise blue. So I've got this paint out so that I can mix it a little bit and try to get that color that I will kind of coordinate with the ribbon that I have that we've used for everything else. Okay, so that's why I've got these paints, but you pick the colors that you want. Okay, so now that I've got this already painted, it's already done. This one's ready, so I'm just going to put the base pieces on the bottom. I think that'll be easier to get them on there now than try to get them on there after I put this piece of baseball bat on this side, and then I'm holding it up like this. So I'm going to put it like this, facing downward. And I've got my hot glue gun ready, and just put plenty of glue, and the styrofoam will stick just fine with just some regular hot glue. Let's get some more hot glue on my gun here. And I am going to be using a lot of glue because I want everything to get on here really, really well. I'm going to go in just a tiny bit, maybe about a quarter, half an inch in. It's about a quarter inch from each side here. So that's how I'm going to determine how far in I want it. Okay, so from here on, I'm going to go to the next square. Okay, so I've glued down the feet. So that's my bottom tier of my tower. And the next one that I want to do it in pink. So I've got my two pinks here. So I'm just going to mix them up off camera and to get the right kind of pink. And all I'm going to do is just going to brush it on all over. And then I'm going to brush them on the edges. But I'm actually going to put some ribbon on the edge here also. So I don't have to give it that much of a coverage on the side. I just want to do it just in case, because the ribbon is not quite the width. The ribbon that I have for this is not quite the width of the styrofoam, so it's not going to completely cover. So I'm just going to try and cover at least the top edge here, and then the ribbon can just kind of go right in the middle, and of course the bottom edge. And I think I'm going to do the bottom of it as well. So I need to do two sides and then the edges, let that dry, and then I'm going to mix let me put this over here to the side here. And then I'm going to mix the blue that I want so that I can also do the same to this piece here. So I can paint the top, the bottom, and just parts of the two edges there. So I got to get that done in the blue. And I don't think you need to see me painting that. That's probably very self-explanatory. This top one, I am on the edge or the mend or the fence or whatever you want to say. I am on the edge about if I want to cut this into a circle. I really do, because I kind of want to have this one be a baseball at the very top, because at the very top. And then I have the top part of the, I keep wanting to say hammer, but this bat, I want to put a big pink bow on here. So I'm thinking that I want this to be a baseball and then the bow, so that kind of ties in. Of course, there's plenty of baseball theme on it with a bat being all the way down and the baseball field. So I'm on the fence about cutting this. And the reason that I'm on the fence about cutting it into a circle is because this type of styrofoam, when you start cutting into it, gets very crumbly and it breaks up a lot. And I don't have time to go to the store and go purchase another one of these, or go purchase an actual circle, because they did have them in circles at the craft store that I got this from. I just don't have the time to go and do that. So I may just end up just leaving it square. But I'll still paint it white, and maybe I'll do the little stitching of the baseball on it, just to give it that look. And like I said, there's going to be cupcakes all over, so a lot of that's going to get hidden, so we'll think about it. Okay, but anyway, this will get painted white regardless. Alright, so I will be back with my pieces already painted, and I think I'm going to go ahead and paint my bow in pink as well. I'm going to use that khaki to paint the baseball bat, and then I'm going to paint the K in pink and the J in blue. Okay. And I shall be back once that is all painted and dry. Alright, so I am back with all my items already painted. Probably wondering why I painted this white when the styrofoam was white to begin with. Actually adding a coat of paint kind of diminishes a little bit of the texture of the styrofoam. Not too much, unless I was maybe going to give it another 2 or 3 coats, but I feel I have enough here. I had a little bit of a problem because I ran out of white, and I would have actually liked these two colors to be a little bit lighter. But I'm looking around at some of the decorations, and some of the decorations have a light pink, some of them have a little bit of a darker pink, as well as the blue. So I'm going to go ahead and go for this. Now, to give this not so strong look, I'm actually going to sprinkle a little bit of this glitter. It's a kind of a white. It's called Crystal, the color of this glitter. So I have this spray adhesive that I actually got at the dollar store. I'm not really sure which store it was. It's like a Family Dollar or a Dollar General. This is, I think it's Family Dollar. This is a multi-purpose adhesive spray, and I've used this on a few of other items to add glitter to them. So I'm going to just spray, and I really just care about getting the glue, you know, like on the top here, okay? Now the other thing about it is that I notice that it sometimes like comes out in some sort of like clumps. So I'm just going to do is just kind of brush it on like that. Just get the glue on there, okay? And then I'm going to take the glitter, and rather than just pouring a ton of glitter over everything, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some in my fingers, and just sprinkle it on. And I've already dropped a ton of it down here on the paper. That's okay. I'm just going to sprinkle it on. I want to give everything just a little bit of a sparkle. Of course, I've also got a little fan going here, so that's not helping. Let's put this over here a little bit so you can see what I'm doing over here. And just sprinkle some of this on it. And just gets a little bit of a sparkle on these items. I don't know if you can see the sparkle in the camera. I can see it a whole lot better here in person. So that's what I want to do to everything, okay? I'm going to do these as well. Just spray everywhere. And I'm going to make sure that I shake off any excess glitter like really, really well before I put all this together, because I don't want any glitter to, when we put cupcakes on there, to get on the paper and then possibly get into the cupcake, you know, as people are handling them. Sometimes, you know, one of the cupcakes will tip over for whatever reason, and hands going in there. I don't want any glitter to get on any of the food. So you want to make sure that you shake off as much of the, you know, can you see that? See how that sparkles? I think that makes it look really pretty. And of course the glue that's on there is white. It goes on white, but it'll clear. It'll dry clear. So this will look a little bit prettier. There's a bunch of little splotches of glue here and there on the styrofoam, because it doesn't spray very well. I've already used it quite a bit. So anyway, I'm going to do that, let this all completely dry, and we'll be back to try and put this together. Alright, I'm back, and I've glittered everything. So I've gone ahead and I've shaken everything to make sure there's no loose glitter and everything's fine. So now I'm going to place the first piece of bat on my styrofoam. So I'm going to glue it right here. So I'm just going to scrape it a little bit, because I really shouldn't have put any glitter there. And I already had my center marked here, so I'm basically just going to place this right where that center mark is. But this does have like a little bit of a, you know, little bevel here where it could actually go into there. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and mark it with a pencil. Let me measure one more time. Yep, 6 inches, 6 inches. This is my little center point right here. So this is going to go right here, and I think I want to push that in a little bit. So I'm just going to use the eraser and just, oh, sorry, I want to grab my pencil, and I'm going to continue pushing down. I'm just making just a tiny little, like a little ditch in here, and I don't have to do it all, because right here this actually goes inward, so I don't have to worry about that. But I'm going to push it in as much as I can just to try and get this almost flat onto the styrofoam. Okay, so I got my pencil back. Looks like things are just flying out of my hands today, and I'm just pushing down the bit of styrofoam. I don't want to go all the way through it, so I'm trying to be really careful. And I also want to have my hand underneath, actually, so that I don't actually push too much on the styrofoam and then crack it down the center. So I'm just pushing this, and I'm not even going to dig it out. I just want there to be a little bit of a ditch. You could use a blade if you wanted to use that. Even the tip of the pencil would help push some of that in. Okay, so I just want to scrape off again any glitter. In that center spot. Okay, so now I'm going to take my E6000 and put it right where that wood is going to touch. And it's really only going to touch on this outer edge. It's not even going to touch in the middle. And then I want to take my hot glue gun and put glue on the bat. And the reason that I'm doing this is for the purpose of my video, just so that I have that on there. and it stays glued on there. A little bit of glue is seeping out the sides. That's okay. I don't mind that. Okay, also when my husband and I were cutting the bat, this wasn't exactly level. So when I put the next piece in, I'm just going to fill in that little crevice. And what you can do is you can come back with a little brush and paint in those little crevice bits. I'll turn this around. And then I want to look at this from the side. I know I was just saying something, but I can't recall what I was saying. Okay, so I'm going to look at it from the side and make sure that it's not tilting one away, because it was a little bit. Okay. And just put a little bit of glue at a time and let that glue dry before you add any more, because if you put too much hot glue on here, what's happening is it's just melting that styrofoam. So it's never going to, you know, get straight on you. So just keep it straight as much as you can. Let it dry. I actually have a little fan going here, so I want to make sure that the air hits it. And I want to make sure this is going to be stable and not moving, because right now it is. And I know it's because of that other glue, the E6000, because it's not dry, so it's not hard. So then I'm just going to go around here that I know that this hot glue is dried, and put some in there. Okay, then I'm going to come back and make sure this is nice and firm on here, that it's not going to move around on me. Right now it wiggles a bit, so we're going to let it dry completely, and I'll be back. And of course the E6000 is going to need, you know, a few hours for it to really be completely dry. And then we're going to put this one up on top of here, and from what I can see already is that this kind of angles up just a tiny bit here, so this part right here will push into the styrofoam from underneath. But what I'm going to do again, just like I measured this to find my center, I'm going to measure this piece to find my center, mark it on the top, and also mark it on the bottom. And I'll do the same thing to these other two pieces, because that way I know that I'm putting it as close to center as possible. So we'll be back once that is dry, and then we'll continue building the rest of it. And then I just want to make sure this one is nice and stable to begin with. Okay, so I'll be back. Okay, so I feel like this is going to be firm. This isn't wobbling around anymore. It stayed pretty firm on here. So I want to put the next piece on here, and I've already gone ahead and marked the center on the top, and this is the bottom, and then I tried to center it as best as I could, and then I traced around this circumference onto the bottom here as I held it on here. And then I noticed that this little part right here goes up a little bit more, so I've been pushing into the let me put this down. I've been pushing into the styrofoam in this area right here with the tip of the pencil, and then that little part I put it back over on this little edge here. So I just line it up, and then all I have to do is make sure that it is now level. And let me get down here on my chair so I can see. And the best way to do that is really, you know, you measure it. And if you have the same measurement, let's see. And we're doing good. One thing I did notice is that before I was going to put the bat on here, I'm considering this the front, and I wanted this wording right here where it says Slugger to be in the front, but I didn't even, or not Slugger, but it says Genuine on here, I think. Yeah, Genuine. I wanted that to be in the front, and I didn't even pay attention. I had it on the side. So make sure you pay attention to what you're doing when you're putting it on here. So now I just want to make sure also that these are aligned. Now this one's a little bit bigger, so they're obviously not going to be, you know, right on, you know, aligned really perfectly. But I just want to make sure that that it's not like tilted a little bit or anything. Although that a little tilt wouldn't be a bad idea, but we don't want to. I don't want to do that. Okay, so here I've got almost 7 inches. So let me turn this around. slowly. Yeah. And one more time. Okay, it's a little bit higher on this side still. So, in that little area, I need to punch it some more. A little bit more. I need to go further around the circle, not go deeper, but just further around the circle, so that can push in. And I'm trying to push in without pushing down on this one. I don't want to push it down, so I'm holding it while I push this down, because I don't want that to break my bottom part. Okay, so now we can put some E6000 and we can add some not super glue, but hot glue. I'm going to put the E6000 in the middle section here. Okay, and this is my front right here, facing you. Some glue on here, some hot glue. I'm trying to get too close to the edge so it doesn't drip down. Okay, now, because I did this, I have to remember that this side is the one that's a little bit high, so I'm making sure that my indentation is going on that side and that I'm going to be leveling it. Okay, quickly. Yep. It's just under 7 inches, like a quarter inch under 7 inches. Yes, okay. This is as level as I'm going to get it. So there we go. We've got this part on here now. Okay, there we go. Now we want to get this one in, because I've already marked the area where this was going to get glued on. I'm just going to scrape a little bit of this off. And I want to make sure that I get this little part where it says Louisville Slugger facing forward like that. Okay, so now we have to put glue on here. The only reason I'm scraping off glitter is because I want to make sure that the glue is actually sticking styrofoam to wood here. And I'll put the E6000 in the middle, like that. And then around the edges, I will go with my hot glue gun. Try not to get too close to the edge, because I know this is going to sort of like squirt out a bit. Okay. I'm going to turn it around so I can look at it, so that and then I also want to look at it from the side to make sure that this here aligns with the bottom one, and this way also, if I lift it up like that, that this here is aligning, so it looks like it's just coming straight out and not, you know, like too. You don't want it like to be off to the side, because then when you look at it from the side, you're going to see that the bat is not like straight. It's one piece is maybe a little bit too far to the right or to the left. So you want to turn it around and make sure that you did align it. And because I marked centers, I got this correct. So I'm just going to let that dry again. You know, let it dry really well. A little bit more glue down here because it's a little bit. There we go. And then, like I said, you can come back and you could paint in there and paint the glue a little bit. I don't think I need to do that because I'm going to have cupcakes on here and it's not really going to show. I think this is like a really cute little display, so it looks great as it is. I'm just removing some strip of, or a bit of glue that kind of dripped down this side here. So, gotta be careful. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry. And I'm going to go ahead and get ahead. Do the same thing with this next piece, and then of course the very top one will go right here. So I gotta mark these centers next, And then put the blue on top of this one here. Put it on top of here. And then this piece will go there. And that'll go there. And then of course our bat. And we'll have such a cute little tower. And then I'll just put cupcakes here, here, and possibly on this one. And I think on the very top one, I'm not going to put any cupcakes. I think I might just put maybe a little decorations on there. And the big bow, of course, that I need to put on top. Okay, I'll be back once I have it all put together and we'll finish decorating it. Alright everyone, I have put the tower together. I felt it was leaning back just a little bit, so I went ahead and I grabbed these little sticks, little wooden sticks that I happen to have here, and we were using for another project. We didn't use them all. So I had them left over, so I thought I'd put 2 in the back just to give some support back here. You can see this little stick right here. It's very thin, so you can barely see them. And I'm not even going to paint them because they blend in with the wood of the bat. So I'm fine with just the way they are. Okay, and it gives me a little stability so it doesn't like rock back and forth, because I feel like maybe the weight of the wood of the bat is kind of wanting to give it a little bit of a tilt. Kind of wiggles around, and that was making me a little nervous. But I feel okay with these sticks being here, because I'll just put cupcakes around, and this will be in the back on the table that's going to be up against the wall, so I'm not even going to worry about it. Okay, so then I went ahead and I took some of this ribbon, and I had a thinner one that I showed you at the beginning that I was going to use along the edge here, excuse me. But it was a little thin, so it's going to be right in the middle or maybe closer to the bottom edge. But I decided to grab this one out. This was just a little bit wider than what these styrofoam squares are. So it hangs a little bit off of it, but I thought that's fine. It's like a little skirt. As long as the top edge is level here, as I did here also. And I did white up here because I happen to have some white as well. And of course I used the pink here. So then I thought, well, I'll use some of that white on the bottom as well. But I went ahead and I dug through my acetate ribbons, and I actually found a grassy green one, and I think this will look just fine on here. It's not the exact color, but it's perfectly fine. What I did is I started at the back. Let me move that over. And then at just the top edge of the styrofoam, just do a thin line of glue. Just a thin line as close to the top edge as you can. And you gotta kind of move quickly. Grab your ribbon, put it right against the edge, and then just glue that down. And I'm gonna trim this little raw edge here. Okay. And just trim it down. Let me stick that one down again because it's going crooked. And then you're just gonna go all the way along the edge till you get back to where you started, and then just overlap it just a tiny bit. So that's what I'm going to do now with this green one that I'm so happy that I happen to have. Now this will cover up a little bit those little feet that I put at the bottom, but I'm okay with that because I well, not kind of, but I really like the finish with the ribbon on the edge here. And I mean, I think it feels much more finished if I was going to do the bottom as well. And this green ribbon is just a tad wider than my white and my pink and my blue. So it's hanging a little bit more. It's giving it more of a skirt. And again, I'm fine with that. The only thing that I feel is that I wish I had bought 5 of these little feet things, because I would like one right in the middle. So I think I'm going to go, because tomorrow we're going to go run some errands and get some more items. So I think I'm going to stop by that store and get myself one more. And if I find like an even wider one, I'll just go ahead and grab that, and then I'll stick it underneath just to give that center part, you know, where the weight is from the bat, just to give it some support. I'm almost done with this, you guys. Look at that. I'm already coming around the last side, and then I can decorate it further besides this ribbon. I'm really happy with it. It's got plenty of support. I wish I had some cupcakes so I could, but you know, I'm not allowed to have cupcakes. I guess I could have made some keto ones. So, but anyway, I think you get the idea of little cupcakes fitting on here. And then what I'll do is I'm going to do a bit of video at the party. So I'll take my camera, I'll do a little video. So once we get all this displayed, and the cupcakes are on there. I'll show you guys what it looked like. So I'm sure it's going to work out just fine. There's plenty of strength on here to hold the cupcakes. I am going to take these little sticks with me because all I got to do is push them into the bottom one and then kind of slide them in. And since they're a little bit thin, they're a little bit flexible, I was able to kind of push them in and then just poke them in into the top one. So I'll probably do that with these other ones as well, just so that they don't, you know, continue doing this. But you know, if I put 2 cupcakes here, that'll balance it, so forth. But then people will be grabbing them, and I don't know at what point they might grab more from one side and maybe it'll topple over. But like I said, not all the cupcakes are going to go on here. And I think up here I'm going to do like a big bow. And even though I painted it up here and I put the little baseball stitches, I might end up covering that up. So I'm going to see, because I think I only want cupcakes here, here, and here. Maybe not so high up. We'll see. But let me go ahead and clear out some stuff. I'm going to make a couple of, well, I'm going to make one big pink bow because it's baseball and bows. So that's the theme. And I'm going to put a little bit of baby blue inside that big pink bow. If you want to see how I do handmade bows, if you click on my icon where it says Tricia Texas Lady and there's my little picture there, you click there, that'll take you to my channel. And then if you look at if you're looking at the channel, you'll see my banner art, you'll see my icon a little bit bigger, and then you'll see where it says like videos, playlists, whatever, etc., community, whatever. Click on the playlist, so it'll show you all the little playlists that I've put together, and go to handmade bows and go to that, and then pick any one of those videos, maybe the one that says beginner or something like that, or the very first one that I made, and just click on that so you can see how I make bows. It's the same idea that I used to make with this type of ribbon. I use the same technique, so just follow that. I want to make this a little shorter, so let's get to it and I'll be back. Alright everyone, so I've gone ahead and I finished decorating my little tower. I put a bow up here on the top. The way that I did that is I wrapped a piece of ribbon around the neck at the top of the bat, and then I've glued that down, and then I glued the bow that I created onto that ribbon. I put some little curling ribbon on the side. I may put some more, but for now this is what I'm putting on there. I went ahead and I put another dowel here at the very front. These little pieces that I had, the little baseball, the baseball bat, sorry, the bow, the baseball, and then the K and the J. I've kind of like glued them together, kind of sandwiched them together, and created one little dimensional display. So then I've glued it down, not only where it's touching at this space, but also to the little stick that's here. Now, like I said, I'm going to take some of those little sticks with me to the party, and I'm not putting them on ahead of time because I don't want to put them where maybe a cupcake could sit correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully put cupcakes on the bottom, and then I'll do the second one, and wherever I feel like, okay, maybe I need another dowel, I will go between the cupcakes and put that there, and then I will do the same here and here. And like I said, I don't think I'm going to put any cupcakes at the very top. I might put 1 or 2 maybe for the mommy and daddy to be, if they're going to take some pictures, and they can just grab those, and instead of grabbing some from here. I don't know, we'll see. But I will take a picture at the party so you can see what it finally looks like, and I'll show you that in another video, of course, because this is going on tonight, or for Tuesday, tomorrow. So there we go. I'm very happy with it. I think it looks really pretty. You could, if you do put extra little dowels ahead of time and you decide to do that, you could wrap them up with some ribbon. It all depends on the theme that you're using. This could obviously be used for any other theme. I will let you know that there are styrofoam columns also that you could put in here, so that you could actually build a column tower, and maybe not have one in the middle, but maybe on the edges, the 4 corners. So just look for those shapes in Amazon. Just look for styrofoam shapes. If you're looking for something specific, put what you're looking for. And that's it, you guys. All right, I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. Oh, look at this. I forgot that I put this on the table. This is something else that we created for the gender reveal. I keep wanting to say a baby shower, but it's going to be a gender reveal this weekend. And we made these towers. These are just little gift boxes. My sister-in-law actually got them from Cracker Barrel. I think they use them to put, like, you know, food to go or something. She asked for these boxes. She asked for 8 of them, and so we built 2 of these towers, and they're wrapped in blue, pink, and the other one is wrapped in pink, blue, and this one has a blue bow on the top because it ends with a pink bow box, and the other one has a pink bow on it. But look, we put a little baseball here, a little baseball on the bottom, and of course the bows. And we wanted this to look like stacked blocks. So then we also cut out the BA and the B and the Y, and we did that for the other one as well. And then we've glittered them with the same glitter that I used to sprinkle on here. So that it looks like the letters on the block spelling out baby. So I really don't think that this is something that I need to make a video for. If you want to see that, I'll probably do that for the baby shower, because I've already said whatever we need to do for that, I'm making videos. So maybe they'll want to repeat this, and I think she does, because for then she'll know whether it's a boy or a girl, so then we'll go with that theme. So we might reproduce this, but let me know if you want to go ahead and see it. And anyway, there we go, everyone. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And thank you to everyone who has been subscribing. I appreciate that very much. You guys, I'm getting close to 50,000 subscribers. I know that's not a lot in terms of what other people have, but for me it is, and it's very overwhelming. I'm very happy with that. I'm so glad that many of you have joined me and that you're enjoying my videos. Leave a nice comment down below. Tell me maybe some ideas of what you'd like to see me do in the future. I do have some things lined up, but I do take suggestions. And make sure you follow me on my Facebook, Tricia's Creations. I do have the link down in the description box below. And like I said, if you want to see the bows, go to my playlist, find handmade bows, and watch how I do those. That's it, everyone. Make sure you share on your social medias, and as always, enjoy.